Hello and a very good afternoon to all. Welcome back to our another webinar session. I am Megha Upadhyay, your host, and we welcome you to all. We are back with a very interesting topic: magnetic messaging, story that pull people in. As we all know, story have the power to inspire, connect, and transform minds. Whether it's a brand, movement, or a message, storytelling plays a vital role in creating impact. So, on this interesting topic, today we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Devang Dave, sir. He is a managing director of Social Central Media Solution, and he is a founder of the Fearless Indian. With over 10 years of experience in marketing, he is known for his creative strategies and innovative ideas that have made a real impact in the industry. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mega. It's pleasure to being with you all with the Gene Cube Incubation Center, and I always like to interact with our students.
Okay, so sir, now I would like to request you, please start the session. And
Okay. Thank you so much, Mega, for the introduction. And I think when it comes to startup, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to doing something in life, what is the most important part? For all to start, just to give you a brief overview before we start and we get into the PPT and the technical stuffs. I think every successful startup, every successful person, every successful business, every successful idea, what's the backbone of it? The most important part is everything has a story. Okay, so as you are very well aware that we hear about people, we hear about the great founders, we hear about great ideas, we hear about the great innovation, we hear about say great people. What pulls us to them is the story behind it, right? And that's why I think today's topic is also very interesting to go through, which is magnetic messaging, the stories that pull people in. It is not only about, I think, people generally want to know what is story behind it. For example, any startups that go, for example, that are really successful, success is one part of it, but the whole brand narrative, everything goes behind that, how that idea came, why that idea was there, how they implemented the idea, how idea resonated with the people. So there is a lot of things which maximum times sometimes we know, sometimes we don't know, and then that's part of the marketing, that how we position ourselves. So while we get into the technical things, so let us just go through the overview of what all topics we will be covering today. Why storytelling matters for the startup, the science behind storytelling, storytelling frameworks, real world startup examples, and we shall do some live exercise that how storytelling and actually right positioning of your brand, of yourself, of your startup can really matter a lot in days to come. So while we go, why stories matter for your startup? So to all my startup founders, when you had an idea, most of the time idea comes out of, either it comes out of passion, either comes out of some inconvenience, either it comes out of some mentoring, either it comes out of some thinking behind it. And what's the most important part, that while there is an idea, we nurture the idea, we research on the idea, and then we try to go and tell the idea to somebody. We go to bootstrap, we go to incubation centers, we go to sell our ideas or sell our idea to create a startup first. Let me ask you that. What is that? What is that? What are you going to sell in your first initial days of your startup, of your idea? That's exactly a kind of a story that you have. You have a solution to the problems. You have a solution. You have a story to tell. You have a thing to change the world, the area, the digital tech space. So there is something behind it that is inspiring you to pursue that, pursue that startup. And that's why it is important that everything that you want to do with compassion, everything that you want to do and implement something new in life, everything has a story. And that's why it is the story that sells. For example, if I go and tell that, okay, I am here to sell you a pen. Okay, there are, now we see there are pen which are in the market, which are there to be selling from 2 rupees up till 2 crore rupees of pen are there. So when you purchase a pen of worth 2 rupees, you might not think much. When you purchase a pen of about 2000 rupees, you will give some thought of it. You will see the brand, you will see the positioning, you will see some value in it. When you purchase a pen of say about 2 lakh rupees, then there is something more behind it. What is more? That is the story behind the pen. You know, that pen might be coming from a company, it is handmade, it is some special ink it has been using, something special that all the other pens are not able to give you, that is there in that pen, which is costing 2 lakh rupees. So you know what is that sells? It is the story, and it creates the memorable connect. Let me tell you some other examples as well. All these established brands, for example, what we buy the costliest things is one of the thing is say watch. Again, watch ranges from 50 100 rupees till a few lakh, and now a few crore rupees also. When you look forward to see that, you know, what is the time shown in a watch worth 2000 rupees, a time shown in a watch of 2 lakh rupees, and a time shown in a watch of 2 crore rupees. It is the story behind the watch, story behind the brand, and story behind your thing to purchase that. And that is how stories do matter in every aspect of your life. While you all are doing startups, friends, now imagine you all are not doing startup, you all are going into, while you are pursuing your graduation, you are going into a interview. What do you sell there? Interview also is kind of a selling. You sell your skills, you sell your knowledge, you sell your thing that you want to do for the company. Some or the other way, that is also what you want to sell, a story about yourself. You know, that's why story are things that people will remember. Story are things that people will have a connect with you. Story is always, always, always more than numbers. Why do we say so? We should always know that when a startup founder goes to an investor, do you know, friends, what the investor invests into? Investor does not only invest into your idea, does not only invest into the numbers that you show, but it actually invests into your story that you have to sell. You know, if the founders are not compassionate about the idea, the investor may see great numbers, the investor may see good outcomes, but if the founder story is not appealing to them, lot of investors does not look forward to go and take the deal ahead, because until and unless there is a connect between you and the investor, there is a confident, there is a kind of trust and the identity between you, the thing does not happen. In a similar way, when you build a product and you go into the market and you try sell your product, the market is not always about your product, but it is more about the story, how you sell it, how your brand is positioned in the market, what are your target segments, where you want to sell it, whom you want to sell it, what price point you want to sell it, you know, and it is all basically behind, you know, how people believe in you. We see, for example, there are a lot of companies selling similar products, but at a different price point. There may be some quality here and there, but there are many companies that have same quality, same product, but selling at different price point. And the major difference between those companies and the price point is the story behind the, and the way of selling their products. You know, and that's how, in the longer term, people build trust, people recognize brand, people recognize your identity. And marketing is again no longer only about the stuff you want to sell. For example, nowadays we see a lot of online shopping websites coming up, lot of startups trying to sell different things on the online world. Some things work, many things don't. The major thing behind the things that work is because they are able to catch the people's imagination. And that's how, if you are able to catch the people's imaginations, reach out to them, and have some emotional connect, have some trust built into you, that is what people are today looking to buy more than something else. You know, so it is very important that is it not only about only the product that you want to sell, but how you sell it and how you reach out to the people. And while we see there is a lot of science behind all of this, it is not just that, it is a topic of today's discussion, but there is a lot of science, there are a lot of scientific research that goes behind storytelling. And you all must have always heard in your marketing lectures also, while you design a product marketing, while your marketing team designs something into marketing, what they tell, the mark the first, the brand identity will start choosing from what colors will the brand carry, what is the brand's message that they want to reach out to the people with, how they want to position the brand with, and all of those. Lot of time we hear, right, in the market also you might be hearing ki so and so company made a logo and paid few crore rupees for a logo. Do you think only for example, there are lakhs of designers available in the world who can create a logo for 2000 rupees also, and who can create a logo for 2 crore rupees and 20 crore rupees logo also? What is the difference between all of that? It is the story behind the logo. It is the story in the color they use, in the font they use. So every minute thing does matter. Why does it matter? If it was not scientific, it should have not mattered, right? For example, I am selling something which carries a red color or a green color. There is a lot of significance behind that. Let me give you an example. If I want to sell some eco-friendly product, generally now when I say eco-friendly, something that simulates our mind is the color green. Why does it simulate color green? It is because we have trained so many years to our mind that something that is eco-friendly is green in color, or it relates more towards the nature. And that's why maximum people selling some eco-friendly product might opt for color green, which will easily resonate with what they are selling, or what kind of product they are selling, and what I will understand. So that's how our brain is, again, people's brain is also wired into, taking some inputs accordingly. Say for example, uh, there is a connection between us and the product also a lot of time, and most of the time those connect can be emotional in nature. Now say for example, when we see say Mercedes logo, there are cars, entry level Mercedes car and some other brand, maybe cars are very similar in nature, for example, with the technical specifications of it. But when we see Mercedes, what our brain imagine, or when we see the logo of Mercedes, it imagines something premium. Why? Because they have been selling in a segment where they showcase their cars as a premium segment car. They showcase as a car, or they give a car which they have told a story to us for years and years to come, that we only sell the best things, or we our car are the best in the market. And that's why how that's our memory has been fit in for a long time, that Mercedes means premium, Mercedes means you know something that is very clean, neat, and best in the car segment. So that's how a lot of brain activity is, the way we learn it gets triggered whenever we see this. And that's how into startup also, it is not only the product that sells or that can connect with the people, but also a lot of times the photos, the pictures, the marketing ads, the words, the representation, what you do, it actually triggers our brain. A few days back, I was seeing some ads on Facebook, on Instagram. Now, this ads was about some NGOs who are really helping street dogs in a big way. Uh, you know, but they wanted to. They are looking to collect donation drives. They are looking to connect and connect a lot of people with what the kind of activities they are doing. Now, imagine they are selling that we are a NGO. We are, for example, looking forward to your donation with we have dog shelters, we are helping street dogs. With these words we might we might connect with them or we might not connect with them. But what the kind of ad they sell is they will really show you the photos, the videos of the dogs which are really struggling, the dogs which are hurt, and that will again connect a very emotional connect with the people and the cause they are doing, and we will try to connect with them and might make some donation. So it's again a part of selling. It's part of marketing, that how you reach out to people, what you reach out to people, and how you do it. In last few years, you might have heard the term called influencers. Why and when did influencers become so important in the marketing segment? Actor, actresses coming onto our television screens, selling, say for example hair oil, selling some other product. And what we used to believe is because they are using it, it might be good, and so that we purchase it. That he is a hero, he is a big guy, he is an important celebrity, he is using the product, and that's why a lot of people had an emotional connect, not maybe with the product but with the person, and then they used to purchase, or the trust the person could garner, and we used to purchase those products. Similarly, in today's uh, startup world as well, when we go out to sell something, the influencers or the new generation of marketing, what we call, so not only the actors and actress, but what, for example, if I like a product and I talk about it in my Facebook or Instagram, my friends will have a lot of trust on that. My immediate family members or immediate close circle, whoever sees it will garner a lot of trust, and it will also garner a lot of connection that my friend is using it, so I can, without thinking, go and purchase the product. Without thinking, go and you know do the thing. And similarly, even in our ecosystem, for example, when a startup founder does something good, he talks about it, he gets some good service from some other startup, he gets some good service about good help from something else. If it talks about it, there is a lot of buzz that generates around it, and that's why storytelling has become so much more important. It creates a lot of engagement, it creates a lot of brand recall. I see a hoarding, I see a television ad, I see a ad in my mobile, and then I see my friend talking about it, or somebody close to me talking about it. It creates a lot of brand recall, and it creates a lot of confidence in the product to me. So that's how it has become such an important part. And what are the major elements of a magnetic story that is actually can be sold? Main, the character. Now, in this phase, what we were talking about, there can be various characters. There can be a brand ambassador. There can be the startup founder who is the character who is able wanting to sell. There can be a customers face who are wanting to come and talk forward and say about your product, and that can be so many more relatable people who are using your product, who are associated with your product, who have confidence in your product talking about it, and it becomes a story to sell to the people that wow, this is a great product, or this is a great company which provides a great service. And that's how a lot of times a lot of brands use mascot as a character as well. So, for example, when we say Amul, more than Amul as a brand, we imagine the mascot of the Amul in front of us. So a lot of brands have been associated with all the different characters, some real life, some mascots, some customers, some protagonists, some founders, and that's how we know. And in the recent past, especially in the startup field, all those large startups, maximum of all what we know is who founded those startups also. So who are the founders have really become important thing to sell. That you know how passionate they were about the business idea, how they went into it, the kind of struggles they had in their initial days, how they made it in life, how they achieved the things. It's again a story which has inspired millions and millions of us to get into a segment where we today look forward to creating our own startups and working. So, it's a story that is selling everywhere. It's a story of a person, of a company, of a product, of a service, which we are able to sell. Secondly, elements of the story is either the challenge, the problem that is faced. For example, imagine a startup creating, say, a hair loss solution. We see a lot these days in our digital ads and other section. What are they selling? They have identified the challenge or the problem that there are people because of lifestyle, weather, traveling, they are maybe facing a hair loss, and then they are creating a challenge, that a story around it. For example, if you have this problem, you use our product, and there may be some solution to it, and then you will use the brand ambassadors, the mascots, the stories of your successful customers to record that and reach out to the people to create more brand recall, to create more trust in your product. And that's how the elements of magnetic story are created. Second thing is, for example, resolution to some problem. The way we were talking about, the problem is actually being solved. For example, why Zomatos and Swiggy became so popular today? What was the problem they identified? We all love food, and while we all love food, the major problem was in our initial days when we called the restaurant guy may deliver, may not deliver. The restaurant guy may deliver in time, they may not deliver in time. Initially, we had the Zomatos and the Swiggy started home delivery of the product 20. So Domino's, we all remember, right? If we order a product from Domino's, they will deliver in 30 minutes or free. It's a service that we recollect. More than the pizza, 30-minute free delivery became the more popular thing. We are instant hungry, call Domino's, put order, 30 minutes you'll get the food. So it's the various type of marketing that remember, that our mind and the heart remembers. And the last thing is the emotion, the heart of the story. Not all stories may have, the character, the problem, or for example, something to be solved. Many a times there are emotions that sell. And especially in the digital world, we have large spectrum of people, and we can sell different things to different kind of people. We see a lot of, in these days, you all might be seeing in the online space itself. I'll give you some examples that we see a lot of, for example, the most difficult part was to sell, say for example, jewelries online. Okay, for me to sell a ring, for somebody to sell something expensive or something very personal, initially was a very difficult task. But now you see a lot of emotional stories coming out, people with those reels, with those videos, that you can give this to your boyfriend and it will be a forever good thing. Different types of emotions have been triggered. The similar way I was talking about the dog shelter NGO, showing the photos of the dog which are injured, they are treating on it. It's an emotion that connects, and there are various emotions they try to trigger, and they create the heart of the story, and that's how a lot of people get associated with the cause, with the product, with the, for example, today, diamond brands. Most of the diamond brands we know because of the story that they have given us. Solitaire, uh, say for example, by Titan, or the other brands they sell. So they have created a story. If you see diamond nowadays, we have, so for example, there is a original diamond, there is a artificially created diamond. But why they still selling in the market? I think it is one of the those who don't know. I think you should go into the marketing of the diamond that they have done for last so many years. It is one of the biggest and most successful campaigns that they have been able to spread across the globe, and then that's how diamond became so important part of many of our lives. And because it is connected to emotion, a diamond ring, generally we don't give diamond rings to our friends, we only gift it to somebody, our loved ones. It's no harm in gifting diamond rings to our friend, but the emotion is carried in such a way for so many years that when we think of a diamond ring, we think of our friend, either a girlfriend or a loved one, or maybe a wife. So it's the emotion that they have carried us. That's where our brain and mind has been trained for years. That it is for the select one. See the taglines for them, for the select one. So while we hear it again and again and again, and then that's how our brain processes. So it's an emotion that they have been using for a long, long time and created successful campaigns around it. Now there can be different frameworks to the journey, to the storytelling, like we call it, for example, the hero's journey. you know in 2010-11, lately, when the startup segment was really picking up in India, 2011, 12, 13, 14, you might have seen initially, for example, when we were in college, when I was in college, and if I would have come home and told them that I am not going to appear for any, for example, interviews, and I'm not going to do a job, but I am going to do a startup. I don't have any money, but I have an idea. Our parents would have kicked us off. That what rubbish you want to do? You'll do nothing in life. But nowadays there is so much of storytelling. Nowadays there is so much of hero's journey that we everybody know that a lot of people who had just an idea have grown so much big in life, and that's how now our parents, our friends, our investors trust us with our stories and the ideas that we have to implement. Before, now imagine before 2010, for example, if I had an idea, I went to an investor telling that I have an idea and I need $1 million. In India it was very difficult to get those type of money, just based on an idea, just based on a prototype, because people those days never believed that it could be really possible to have some great products at that age, at that time. But now the things and scenarios have changed drastically. And similarly, Hero's journey has inspired millions and millions startup founder to leave, not only look for job, but also look for starting up their own ideas, starting up their own journey, so that later on when they become successful in life, their journey will also be celebrated by millions and millions of people. And there are various formulas. For example, it's a formula where we can say that somebody got established, again that is a storytelling. Somebody introduced a new kind of a product, for example, chat gpt. What was chat gpt? Everybody was working on AI for long, long, long years, but it introduced first as an app which started own thinking. For a lot of people in India, it was or across the globe, it was a new thing that we can ask question and it will do things according to our wish. For example, write a letter, write, think about so and so, research and tell me the outcome. Somebody else started doing this, and then that is what it's sold right in the market. And third thing, the ABT formula, therefore resolve the conflict. For example, this is the situation, if you do this, the things will be resolved. So different parts of storytelling framework. Again, storytelling in startup branding very important. When your startup is, for example, if we create a startup, we have a service to sell, we have a product to sell. Initially when we don't have any customers, when we go to our first five few customers, 5, 10, 50 customers, 5, 10, 50 customers, what are we selling? We are selling our story there. We are selling the story of our product, how it is going to transform their life. We are trying to sell how our product is going to change their life or their process or their For example, what we say, their issues, and the initial storytelling buys us a few good customers. Then we provide them with good product, good service, make them happy. And once that is done, we can then resell. What we can say is customer success story. Now, a lot of corporates, while you go talk to them, work with them, or even in your startups, people now have a customer success team. What does the customer success team do? They ensure that customers are always happy. Now, it can be done through extra services, it can be done through giving services on time, a product that is well delivered, well packaged, well branded, and lots and lots of things. When the customer is happy, and then they will refer you, or they will start believing in your story, they will invest more and more in you. And that's how storytelling in the branding also works. Vision story, uh, for example, why your startup exists. That's what we told, that a lot of people, a lot of investors basically I see these days, they believe in the team, they believe in the people, and they believe in the vision that you carry. For example, when you go on the very first day, very few first weeks with your story that you want to do so and so, you want to do, you are trying to sell so and so, and then those people believe in you, believe in your vision, believe in your, and how your startup can achieve what you have think. And that's how your branding is really important there as well, how you position yourself, your team, your brand. And that's what is always remembered for in the market. And the product story, how that product is going to help you, for example, so we need to understand all the things of this, that single startup can have different stories for different type of people to sell. Founder stories could be better sold off media, PR, kind of, to create a hype around the founder around. So that, for example, whenever you exit one startup, you go and try to do a one successful startup, you go and try to do a successful startup, you are very well known in the industry, you people know your story. So second time when you go, people will much, the struggle that you had in your first startup, your second startup will have almost 50% less of a struggle if your first startup is successful. So founders also have a lot of uh, storytelling to do. Similarly, your customers, for example, of your first startup, when you do a second startup, will be easy to sell to those customers again. If you are doing something very different, also people will believe, the customers will believe in your success story. And that's how the stories, the best part about today's world and the digital world is all these stories are here to remain. People can go back and check 5 years, 10 years down the line, how you have been dealing with situation, how what you have been telling about yourself, your product, and other things. So it's a again positive thing. And then that's how we see that there are few case studies. What we see, Zomato. Now when we think Zomato, because we have been using Zomato, we have been listening Zomato, what we remember, the one thing we remember about the Zomato app is how it is relatable, that once we order something on Zomato, something good, some good food will come to us. One, it will come quickly. Second, it will ensure that there is a good packaging, no spillage, no, uh, you know, uh, uh, untouched product will come to us. They will do the sealing of the product, sealing of the packet, and that's how we have created today. We initial days of Zomato, I don't know how many of you will remember, or Zomato, Swiggy, or other this kind of apps. We saw videos of tampered food, we saw videos of contaminated food, and then slowly and steadily they improved on it, they improved the process. And today we believe Zomato, whenever we order something from Zomato, the content is always relatable, the content is always focused on and around food, about honest brand, that how they will deliver at the best place, sorry, at the best time to you, and with all the security checks in place. Boat again, boat, as much as the boat as a brand is popular, you will also remember the founders of the boat, because they have been seen everywhere, they have been talked about everywhere. So again, there is a brand storytelling of the founder, but vis-a-vis, boat position itself as a lifestyle brand, that all the products they never, you see, boat never actually tried to sell only, for example, earphones. It become a modern lifestyle brand. Different type of headphones, different type of electronic devices, whatever small medium scale, whatever they could try and help you do something in life. They became not as a electronic brand but as a lifestyle brand. They came up with really good, what you can say, designs, innovative things, selling the same thing with a different perspective or with a different design. And that's what I think boat got more popular in the youth, that way. Again, Nika, as you hear Nika, as much as you talk about Nika as a a platform, or Nika as a women-centric platform, you also see and talk and remember about the Nika founders. You also, if a woman want to go and take anything, Nika is their first stop shop where they have, they have targeted a segment. Moreover, that lots and lots of things are available for them. Paperboard, again, another example. What did paperboard sell? Paperboard sold different type of juices, fruit juices, liquids. And before paperboard also, a lot of people started doing that. They did, some became successful, some became not. Now we, for example, you go and look for companies, for example, like Coca-Cola and all. They have few products initially. They have Thumbs Up, they have Coke, they have 7-Up, Fanta, Mirinda, maybe Maza. What is beyond that? What is it? Paperboat. Paperboat has, I think, more than 100 type of different flavored juices. They give different flavored liquids. They give to the brand. But their brand is not limited to soda. For example, we see any Coke or Pepsi, we remember soda. It's not with the boat. Paperboat created a brand storytelling about, childhood memories, healthy drink, fruit drink, and innovative or the other drinks that we forgot in our life. And that's how Paperboat created a wide variety of their product. But the brand name is more about Paperboat. It is not about Pepsi selling Pepsi name, 100 things in one name of Pepsi. Pepsi is different, Fanta is different, Mirinda is different. You, for example, you don't relate key, you'll have various flavors in Pepsi. But paperboat, when you go and purchase a paperboat, you have much more flavors to choose from. This is a different type of storytelling. People, how people believe in paperboat, and then inside the paperboat, you look for the options, and that's how storytelling really matters, and that's how it hit our eye. Today, if we are at an airport, we want to look for something nice, cool, energetic to drink. We might go and look for a paperboat. है क्या? Then we secondly see कि पेपर बोट में कौन से ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है. That way. Channels, again, where all these stories are very successful or they should put in, yes, absolutely, website, about us, blog, regular blogs, your narratives, your stories telling about you, your success, small success, big success. Your team, you should talk about your team, which is again very important part of a foundation of a very good startup. The stronger the team, the passionate the team, the more successful always the startup is. Social media post, reels, yes. When you talk about yourself, your brand, your product, your customers, when they talk about you on social media and their reels, it really helps because it creates a network of influence of the people who sees it. Pitch decks and investors, like I told you, whenever you go to pitch for yourself, more the investors will see the numbers, they will see in a story that you believe in. Investors will more believe because see, at that point of time, what you have to lose is nothing, but investors have to lose is on money. So he bets on the founder and the team more than the numbers on the presentation. So it's very important that your story connects right with the investors and in their pitch deck meetings, email campaigns and other offline interaction and events. We see a lot of time, uh, you know lot of times there are events that we participate, exhibitions that we participate. What we do in exhibitions is connect with the people. We sell our stories. We do a lot of things in an offline online interaction. We do a lot of activities. Then we create a story online about it, and that's how we do create a story around it. What happened offline, and it will resonate online as well. So that's how online interactive offline event can sell online. Online event can have an offline. A lot of times we get a lot of numbers and customers. Sometimes we do customer meetings. For example, we do customer get-togethers. So all customers coming together when we have a large pool of happy customers coming together, celebrating our success, anniversaries, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years of something product or a service, and all customers coming together and celebrating together. It creates a cohesive network, and from those we create content and we can sell it online. That this all kind of customers attended the meeting, they spoke how good about us, they did good things about us, and that's how a lot of the storytelling, the various different channels that can be used as part of storytelling. Some common mistakes to avoid, first, making it all about either your product or about yourself. A lot of times startup founders, startup things lose the direction in middle. It is sometimes, for example, when I start with a product, I may be very humble, I may be very approachable, I may be very good. But once I start making some money, sometimes the marketing is only about me as a brand founder rather than the product. Sometimes it is only about the product, and then you hard try to hard sell it. We have seen large companies which try to hard sell but are unable to do, but smaller companies or innovative people, innovative campaign marketing, a smaller product sold in a innovative gets sold more. For example, I tell you, in the COVID and post COVID times, you know I came across a guy who started online selling of Excel coaching classes. What he tried and did classes was only learning people how to use Excel. And you may not believe that he got about more than 5 crore customer purchasing his small 100 rupee online coaching. Now imagine the scale. 100 rupee coaching, so many lakhs of customers, crores of customers, the scale of it. So it's about not only the product sales, but a lot of things in the periphery that you'll have to create while selling. Second, too much of jargon, too little emotion. For example, some brands believe that big words will make big impacts. But let me tell you guys, whenever you try to sell something, and this is what we have been doing in most of our customer cases as well, or I always advise all the marketing teams, whatever you are trying to sell, first try and whatever campaigns you are making, first try and show it to either your peon, your watchman. If they are able to understand and resonate and connect with the campaign, then the major of your customer base may be able to resonate or understand. If they are not, so in the different segments, but in general, a product which is very generally in nature, if your product can resonate with those people, your product can resonate with a large number of people. If not, then you need to rethink and rework on your campaign. Similarly, for example, for brands like say Nika may be selling a mid-level segment product and the high-level segment product as well. But Nika has positioned itself as a very women-centric brand. So a common woman should understand what Nika wants to sell when they, go out with their common. They will at least go and see. They might purchase today or might not purchase, but they will always go and see and then remember there is something called Nika. So it's very important. If say Nika would have been very elitist as a brand and only reach out to a higher segment of people, it would never be as successful as it is today. Third and the most important thing is lack of clarity or coherence is more about we should know what we are selling. First thing, only story will not sell. There has to be a product, and only product will not sell. There has to be a story. So nowadays it has become more intermingled between the two to really sell or the product or really create your brand or something that people will remember for a long time. And most important, forgetting the audience point of view. We need to first know who our target audience is. Whom are we targeting? Whom are we selecting? Whom are we doing it? You know, so we should be very clear about that. For example, we are targeting the mass, we are targeting the class, we are targeting an industry, we are targeting a sector. We should understand how various things trigger the kind of people we want to create, and then we should also think about what platforms are right for reaching out to the people. For example, when you want to reach out to the masses, especially in the online field, either there are websites or Facebook we can use for the masses. When you want to reach out to the youth, these days Instagram, Snapchat have been more popular as a apps in the youth. Going forward, you want to push your product things or your story in the people of corporate segment. LinkedIn is one of the platform where you share the founder stories, the startup stories. And moreover, then there is when you want to do your opinion industry and all, the Twitter is again a segment you need to push forward for your story there. So different platforms have different for example uh, things to look at and different way to cater at. Lot of times, lot of marketing companies, do try selling you one thing for everything. For example, what will go on Twitter will same go on Facebook, one go on LinkedIn, same go on YouTube. That will make no sense in today's time. Every platform has become very catered to a specific subject, specific kind of audience. What we go and uh, expect on LinkedIn is not the same thing we expect on, for example, say Instagram. We don't expect reels on LinkedIn. We expect good content. We expect to connect with good people. We expect to have professional talks, professional. While on LinkedIn is more casual, more youth centric, more reels, more time pass. So every platform is now has its own niche, and our marketing campaign also has to be like that. For example, if you take up an Instagram reel and push and try to push sell hard on LinkedIn network, it is not going to work. So we'll have to think about all those also while we have to sell the right story at the right platform. Again, let's do a live exercise. Craft your 2 minute startup story. For example, think about who is your customer, what is the challenge they face, how does your product help them, what transformation occurs, and something similar. Write a few sentences creating a narrative of it. A lot of times we hear that there has to be a narrative to everything. So try creating that around it, and then submit it or share it across us so that we also know the kind and the way you want to think. Slowly we can transform, reform, and look into that. What are the challenges? What are the things that need to be changed? And whenever you think of mass marketing, marketing at a larger level, always have common people in mind. Why am I telling you? Because if a common person is able to understand your brand, your thing, your anybody and everybody will be able to, understand. You see, large people who are actually not selling a product a lot of times to public at large. For example, many of you traveling, if you are traveling via air, you might have seen ads of Total Gas. Now, Total Gas is a company which might not have sold gas to you, me, or anybody of the people. It's a corporate B2B, G2G kind of a company where it sells gas business to business. But those campaigns across all the airports, campaigns across all the premium institutions, we see sometimes whenever their campaign is there, it just makes us resonate in our head that there is some company which is selling, it's a refinery company which is selling gas based products. We'll need to think out at large, and that's how this essential for storytelling, for startup we come up at. First, know your audience, language, what they like, what they talk about, what their pain point is, and then try to hammer on those that this is your pain point, this is our product, and this is the solution that it gives. Be as authentic as possible, and always in today's world, that's why we say that customer stories are the most successful one, because real stories are more authentic. It creates more emotion, it has more connect than the polished and the perfection, perfectly created and the edited videos. Today, for example, if I go live and say that I was so excited about the product, I got the product, and it is really good, people will have, my close circle of few thousand people will have a very good sentiment. If I have a huge follower base, there are lakhs of followers will have a good sentiment. If I say that you know, I purchase the product and it is horrible, lakhs of people might have a very negative sentiment about the product. So it's very important to be very authentic in what we are selling, authentic in what we are selling. Show the why. Why does your brand, your company, yourself exist in the place where you are? As I told you in the start, everything is not about money. It is more about the founder, the product, the service, and how you deliver it, and how it solves the major problem of whomever you are selling to. Keep it simple, clear, and very focused on you should know what you are selling. So, these are some essentials for the startups. And final takeaways that, over the long term, it is the stories only that people will remember. Maybe somebody is going to use your product for few days, few months, few years, but after that, they will remember the stories that they had in those times. Statistics may not count there. Second, you will be able to connect, inspire, and convert a lot of people to believe what you believe in. So, that's again a very important part of storytelling. Be authentic and be very consistent about your storytelling. You cannot sell one thing today and just sell a similar thing in a very different way tomorrow. So always be very consistent with your efforts, consistently believe in you, believe in your product, believe in your service, believe in your startup. And only once you believe, only then you will be able to make others believe in all of those. Your story is your startup's, it's not secret anymore, but your story is your startup superpower. So tomorrow when your startup is successful, people might not remember the numbers. For example, let's say today, how many of us we go and speak about how successful Zomato is in numbers, but we remember them as their story, what they solved our problem, what they are doing it still today. So that's our uh, superpower. Our story will always be our superpower, and that's what we need to think and implement it from day one of our startup life. That's it, I think, for today. I don't know if there are any questions, if there are any discussions, we can take it ahead from here.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and give your valuable time. So, on the behalf of Gwalior Smart City Incubation Center, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Megha.